each year we announce the results, the investment in clean energy. That's renewable energy, but also energy efficiency, power storage, and a few other things. In 2014, we saw an increase of 16%. So investment in clean energy went up to $310 billion. And that's after 2 difficult years where the total went down from $311 billion in 2011. It then dropped each year, dropped by about 20%, and then it's just increased again. So a very good year in 2014 for clean energy. So in 2014, what we saw was total investment increase to $310 billion. That's an increase of 16%, with some different trends around the world. So in Asia, we saw strong growth in China, but not just China, also Japan, of course, investing heavily in clean energy after Fukushima. We also saw a good increase in North America. The soft area was Europe. Europe only increased by 2% during 2014, and actually included in that total was nearly $20 billion of offshore wind. And if that hadn't been there, then Europe would have been reducing and not increasing. So overall, a great year, but with Europe really still being a soft spot. So in the last half of 2014, we saw the oil price drop by over 50%. And of course, the big question is, what does that do to renewable energy? Now, oil doesn't compete directly with renewable energy in most sectors and countries. So if you're in Saudi Arabia or Kuwait, then they're burning oil to produce electricity. But in most parts of the world, renewable energy competes with gas, nuclear, and coal. So there's going to be some impact of the lower oil price, but mainly it'll be expressed through what the oil price reductions do to the gas prices, which are also coming down, and there is competition with renewable energy there. But we remain bullish because remember that renewable energy costs have also dropped very dramatically in the past few years. Solar has dropped by 60% since 2008, wind by 26% since 2008. So renewable energy is much more closely competitive now than it was 3, 4, 5 years ago. So we're seeing still a very positive trend for clean energy. We're also seeing a lot of availability of capital. So as the cost of financing comes down, again, that pushes down the cost of clean energy. So I think there's going to be a lot to watch during 2015, but it's by no means disastrous for clean energy. Europe, at the moment, in renewable energy, there are 2 markets. There's Northern Europe and there's Southern Europe. And what we've seen is Southern Europe, investment in clean energy dropping almost to zero. It's really dropped to very, very low levels. Spain, Italy, of course, Greece. And it's all driven by 2 things. One is the fiscal situation, the crisis in Greece particularly, but also by the level of uncertainty over policy, the retroactive changes, the instability of the policy environment. Investors hate instability and uncertainty, and they particularly hate retroactive changes. So how that plays out is going to be absolutely critical. Meanwhile, in Northern Europe, what we've actually seen is the interest rates available to renewable energy projects coming down over the past couple of years. And that's hugely positive because renewable energy, all the money is up front, there's no fuel costs, and therefore it's all about the interest rates. And if they come down, not just the government rates, but the rates that the projects actually have to pay, then we could see some very interesting growth in the market. So it could be that Europe is poised for growth, particularly Northern Europe, but we really need to see those uncertainties resolved in Southern Europe. France is one of the most interesting markets because there has been a lot of discussion about the policy environment, and that is now largely resolved. And of course, we've also got an enormous amount of focus on renewable energy in the run-up to COP21 in Paris in December this year. So it looks like the planets are aligned. It's looking very positive for France. Of course, always, any question mark about the euro is going to be a question mark about renewable energy as well. Renewable energy is very dependent on financing. Financial uncertainty is very negative for the renewable energy industry.